Hi, and welcome to this roundup of everything I knit in 2024. My name is Lisa, and I have the channel LiseLight. I just started doing podcasts, and so this is like aside from the regular content that I'm thinking of producing on this channel, I just wanted to do this roundup review of everything I knit in 2024. I've seen a lot of people doing it already, and I think it's so interesting, and it's actually really fascinating to collect all the stuff you've done and see basically how far you've come. It's not going to be in any particular order. I will try within each category to take the oldest pieces first. There's definitely development in what I've knit and the materials I've used, the patterns I've used. Yeah, I'll try to go through all of it. So grab yourself a cup of coffee. I definitely have mine here because it's quite a pile that we need to go through. So let's just get started. I'm starting with tops because I think that's probably the most logical place to start. And a lot of things, if I don't remember the names of the particular patterns and that sort of stuff, I'll put it on the screen next to it. And also in the description box below, I will definitely put links and all this stuff. And again, I haven't been very good at using Ravelry. I will try to in the future because it makes it a lot easier to go back and remember what the heck you did and what you used and so forth. The first piece I want to show, I think if we do tops, I'll show you this one. I think it's one of the first ones I knit in 24. I don't think I have a picture of me wearing it, but I will definitely put up a picture of the pattern. It's a drops pattern. It's drops yarn. It's pilling a little bit, but I'm actually pretty happy with it. I think it was about the first time I tried German short rows, and I don't think I did it correctly, but nonetheless, I think I got away with it decently. Also, it's a raglan knit from the top down. It could be neater, but I'm not unhappy with it, and I actually use it once in a while. It's wool, or at least I'll find the yarn in the description, but it definitely has some wool in it. So it's like a warm t-shirt, and I kind of like this style. It's a little big and stuff. Yeah, that was one of the first tops I did in the year. And the next one is a, a linen top. Let me see if I put the name of it down. It was called About Spring. And I did it in the yarn for, it's a little crinkly because it's been in my closet. It's not the season for it now. It's knit in the yarn from Drops that's called Bomullin, so cotton linen. And I believe it's in the color beige because when I'm tan, I can use this color. If I use it now, I kind of look like a ghost. So it's definitely not the season for it. It grows so much, which shouldn't be a surprise. I had to shorten the straps and so forth. It's quite a messy messy top. It's a little chaotic. It's a pattern from Drops. I'll put it on the screen and the link below. It's decent, but I definitely, I think that's when I realized, well, for everything, the yarn you use, how big of an influence that has on the final results. I think I did a decent job in knitting it, so there's nothing wrong with that. But I think the structure of it is way too floppy. I don't really like that too much. I like things to have more structure. It feels like whenever you wear this, it gets bigger and bigger, and I don't particularly like that so much. So that was it. And the next thing, I think this was, yeah, I don't have that with me, but I did two tops for my daughters. One top was called I have my notes here, that's why I'm looking down. It's called White Sails. I did this in black for my daughter. I'll put in pictures of it. just a simple top in very small needles. Again, a drops pattern. You can see a pattern in my beginning of the year. Everything was pretty much drops patterns, drops yarn. And I'll go into that in a different video, but I definitely change coming into the summer period and going forward. Then I've actually changed gears quite a bit. So anyways, it was just cotton. I can't even remember, just regular cotton from Drops. And I think it's actually really pretty. It suits her really well. That's kind of top has too little structure for my taste. I kind of like something that hides the bra straps and stuff like that, but for her it looks amazing. And then I did the Chrysler top from Knitting for Olive in cotton merino in gray for my one of my other daughters. And that turned out really nice, I feel like. And I don't know why, I don't think I have a photo of it, but I can show you photos of the pattern from Knitting for Olive. They also did it in a beautiful light beige color. I have the book here, so I'm looking at it. Sort of light beigey, pinkish color. It's really nice. I had some leftover cotton merino from Drops again that I knitted in. I think it looks really nice. Also on pretty small needles, but I think it turned out really well. And then I threw myself into making the Agave top. It's a Japanese, I believe, designer. Again, it's a little crinkly because it's been in my closet for since summer. It's got these beautiful, like bigger sleeves. There are options for how you can knit the sleeves. You can do them longer, wider, shorter, and whatnot. So this was my first like big. Oh, sorry, I'm showing you the back side. This is the front. This was one of my first endeavors into an American pattern, or at least English, not Danish pattern, and also a lot of structure in it. I chose, I believe, a cotton merino, again from Drops, and that's probably what I regret the most. It doesn't get the same drape as I think I believe she has used some yarn with linen in it. And I think some of the sandness, maybe sandness line, could have been so nice. So I'm actually considering redoing this sometime in the future, because also there were some like little threads that are coming loose, and I don't know, it's just a little, I feel like it's a little more messy than it deserves to be, because it's such a beautiful piece and it was quite fun to knit. I had a little trouble here and there because this was sort of the first bigger pattern piece that I threw myself into. So I still love it because it's airy, and that's the beautiful thing about lace. That it, you can get away with having some wool content in it and still have it be so pleasant to wear, because it's got all the holes in it. So beautiful pattern. I really love this, but I don't love the yarn too much. So this, I guess, was also the beginning of me being a little more adventurous in my patterns, and also venturing into nicer yarn, basically. So this beautiful piece is the love letter top from from I can never remember it right, Kutavakika. Sorry. And this was, I think it turned out so great. I used sandness yarn, the linen yarn, the Line, I think it's called. Just one strand of that. I started this top in some Drops yarn, and I quit because I kind of felt like if I'm spending all this time knitting it, I definitely want to have some better yarn, and I don't regret that. And it's a beautiful chocolatey nougat brown color. I'll put in some footage of me on a little video wearing it. I love it so much. This was definitely a labor of love. I think what I ended up doing was I actually decided to close up the the sleeve a little more because I felt it was too big under here. Whereas other than that, I didn't make any adjustments. I just love it. Highly recommend it. Very involved knit, but so fun to do. And I feel like it turned out beautiful. So those, and then the last top is also a top from Kutawakica. It's a top with stripes that I did also in Senna's yarn. Love the yarn, love the color scheme. Actually, love the construction of the top. It's knit in double Senna's yarn Lina. The problem is that it turned out too big. I did gauge swatch. I did follow the gauge for it, and nonetheless, it turned out huge. And I used it a couple of times. I've inserted a video from another video just without the sound from me. So if you can see me talking, it's from a different piece of content for my work side of business. And so I used it, and I love the colors, the combinations, but I didn't love the fact that it just felt too big. And also this type of summer yarn tends to be just, there's less elasticity when it's natural fibers and that sort of stuff. So I kind of felt like I was drowning in it, and I didn't feel like that suited me very well. And also I realized I don't really love, for summer, like real summer, like a summer top, I don't love the thickness of the double yarn. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because that's when it's hot, so I don't need the heat of that. It doesn't really fit with my summer schedule. Even though it doesn't get that hot in Denmark, it kind of does in periods. And when I'm at work and whatnot, I don't want something that's too heavy when it's supposed to be a summer top. So I unraveled the whole thing. That's why I can't show you the finished object. So I have the yarn stashed in a closet. And I'm definitely going to knit another top in the summer, just holding it single instead. It may also be a Kutawakica top. She has a different one that I feel like is really cute. So that's my plan for that. So I can't really show you that. Also, in the category of tops, where did they go? Let me see. Where did I put them? I was going to show you. It's gone. Anyways, I'll put up, oh, here they are. I'll show you the two vests or slipovers, whatever you call them, that I've done from Knitting for Olive. They're called Olive's Vest. I did one in, it's both yarn from Vedils, the Danish yarn company I've told you about before, 100% wool, very simple, it's rustic, but it doesn't bother me at all. But it's more rustic, but it's so nice to knit with. I really, really like it. So it's, I guess that's what you would call the sport weight, I think. Light sport weight, or excuse me, light DK, I think. And so I did one in blue. This is, I think I talked to you about it before. This is where you're supposed to turn under. It's got a double folded and a double 2x2 rib here, and then also along the sleeves you're supposed to fold this over, but my daughter was convinced that that was a bad idea because she wanted to use it as well, so we didn't. And then it's just a simple 2x2 rib down here. And then I did another one, same yarn, just different color. I did it actually just a tiny bit shorter because I kind of like that it's cropped, because I tend to use it mostly with a longer white shirt or some other light shirt under it. And then I kind of like that it's it hits you know, a little shorter. So this one I did actually fold over the rib at the sleeve, and I think it finishes it up really nicely. And so yeah, nothing much to say. I really love them. They're some of the pieces that I use quite a lot. So those were the tops. And then for the sweaters, I'll show you this first. This gets more and more felted type of, I probably shouldn't have washed it in the machine. I'm not too crazy about this shirt, but I still kind of use it a little bit once in a while. Again, it's a drops pattern, and it's called the Blueberry Cream Sweater. It's just a top-down raglan with a folded over rib. Just decent general pattern, nothing much to say about it. But again, I used, I think it's called Drops Melody. It's supposed to be dusty rose, but I feel like it's almost bluish in the tone, which I'm not too crazy about. And again, the yarn isn't fantastic. It feels a little cheap, which it is. It didn't cost much. But I think the development for me was definitely in the beginning of the year. I don't think I felt that I had the confidence to know that I would end up with a garment that warranted using very expensive yarn. So that's, I think, the development I've seen during the year. Maybe some of you can relate. Please let me know down below. But I definitely felt like it was a safer choice to start out with cheaper yarn to try something out and to see if I could actually pull it off, basically. So this was it. And then the next one is I'll talk to you about that in another episode about my development as a knitter. This was my redemption Sunday sweater because I knit one very early on in my um, revival knitting career. During COVID, that turned out it's actually a pretty cool sweater, but I'll show you in a different episode. So this one is knit in Drops Air. Is that what it's called? Let me see what I wrote about that. I think so. In a Dusty Rose, I think. No, that's not Dusty Rose. That was called something else. Let me see if I have it. Yeah, I can't remember. I'll put it down below because the other one turned out really, really heavy and compact, and I felt like that wasn't the intended way to do it. And I actually love this sweater. I use it a lot. It has started pilling a little bit, but not crazy much. Actually, it's just one of those easy pieces of garment to put on and wear because it's lightweight. It's just overall really pleasant to use. Also, I mean, oh, sorry, I hit the microphone. The obvious, I haven't even talked about this, but this is my latest piece that I've knitted, the Seaview sweater by yeah, I can't remember now. I'll put all the names down below. I get mixed up, so I don't want to say something wrong, but I'll put it down below. Great pattern. My first endeavor into knitting cables, and I'm so proud of it. I love it. I'll go into more detail in a different episode in my regular podcast. It's knit in I can show you, I think, at least it's again from bought from Vadels. It's a cotton a merino yarn plus silk mohair, so two strands held together with all this cabling, and it's just fluffy, soft, warm. It's just wonderful. So I love that so much. I'll definitely go more into the experience of knitting that, but I'm so proud. It just got finished a few days before New Year's, so it's definitely one of the last pieces of this year. And then this beauty also I want to share with you because that turned out really, really nice. I'll put in pictures as well of me wearing it. This is the Knitting for Olive Nature Lace Sweater. It's again knit in one strand of wool, pure wool from lamb's wool from Vadels, held with silk mohair, so one strand of each, and in this beautiful lace pattern. And that's, again, I love this construction where you have, because this what I'm wearing is really warm because it gets more dense with the cables and all this stuff. So it's definitely a very warm sweater. Whereas this one is warm, but it's also light in the sense that you have all these holes in the fabric. So you have a lot of air going through, and I love that combination. I think it's so cool. I'll talk more about this also in the next episode because I think those two more or less should go together. But I love this, absolutely. Okay, those were the sweater. Oh no, that's not the sweaters. I have one more. Actually, I did 3 sweaters for my girls. I'll put up the photo of the pattern. It's called the Chaperon, what's it called? Chaperon Bleu, and it's knit in drops yarn. It's again a drops pattern. It's knit in what they call snow, very thick, dense fabric. And I knit one in blue for one of my daughters, one in gray for one of the others, and one in black for the last one. And it's casual. It's pretty neat. For me, it's a little too tight, so I would have wanted a more roomy and less dense version. But they turned out pretty nice, and that's where I learned how to do I-cord, which was also cool. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So yeah, so that was cool. Or I-cord edge, I should say, because I have done I-cording before. So that was kind of cool. So actually, it's a little surprised myself that I didn't knit. I feel like I knit a lot of sweaters, but maybe I actually didn't. But that's about it. Cardigans, I only done 2. This first one, I'm glad I have photos of me wearing it. It's a big chaotic piece of unstructured fluff, you could say. It's again a drops design. There's some brioche knitting in the sleeve. And I was very proud and surprised to find out that I didn't find that very difficult. It also had the brioche on the pocket, which is chaotic because it turns the pockets into these heavy things that weigh down. And it's, I mean, this is not impressive, to be honest. It's chaotic, it's loose, it's big. I think it was the beginning of the year. I wanted to see if I could actually go through with knitting a big piece like this. And I could. It's knit in pieces and sewn together afterwards, which I don't mind. I'm also a sewer, so it didn't take very long. Then the sleeves are then knit in the round, I believe, or were they? Yeah, they were. Yeah, they must be. No, they're not. They're actually knit in pieces, also sewn together. It was fun to do, and to be honest, it's actually one of those pieces I rarely wear it outside of the house. Sometimes I've used it sort of like a loose jacket over a very like fitted dress to do that juxtaposition over something very structured and formal, and then putting on an informal piece can sometimes work together. But if you wear relaxed clothes with this on top, it looks like you didn't really try very hard. So I do use it a lot around the house when it's cold, and I just feel like I need to like just wrap myself in a blanket. It's that sort of type, but just kind of a chaotic piece. I don't think I can necessarily recommend it because it's just, yeah, as I said, it's really strange construction, you could say. It's called Wayfarer, and I used Drops Air for it. It hasn't pilled too much, which is actually surprising because I would think that would happen, and it's got this um, variation in the color of it. So it's decent, but no, it's not impressive. But yeah, it's okay. It's part of the development in knitting, and I hope you can relate to the fact that not everything maybe hits the mark, but then you get better and better. And then the second cardigan I have it's also recently finished, so I'll talk more about that in the upcoming regular podcast episode. It's the Eva Cardigan that I just finished, this dark brown lamb's wool from Vedils, just one strand of it, and I love it. I think my next cardigan, if I do one, I don't have any plans right now, but I think I would have preferred a double knitted button band, because I think it gets, when it's the single ribbing around, I feel like it gets a little floppy. It's less. I kind of like that it's more structured, I think. So that's definitely, if I knit a cardigan again, that's definitely what I want to do with that, because I think that could look pretty cool. So, Also, and then moving into all kinds of other stuff. I did threw myself into sock knitting this year. I did 3 pairs of these Florence homemade by Florence socks. She has a pattern that I believe is free that I used for this beautiful lace pattern. I actually really love it. It's so cute and very easy to follow. Very, just well fitting sock. And I did one, these are for myself, and then I did knit a pair for my very dear friend in the States. I knit hers a little bit shorter, like to here. And then I've done a pair in light gray for my eldest daughter as well. So I think they're so cute and so comfortable. They definitely do stretch out. I think I need to venture into doing tighter socks for me. I don't. I have a long foot but very narrow foot and slim ankles, and I kind of feel like it doesn't take much for it to stretch. So I think I need to work a little bit with that. So that was one pair of socks. Then I did this pair in beautiful yarn. I did black heel and black toe because I was afraid of running out of yarn, which is silly because it turned out I had misplaced some of the yarn, so I could have easily made them completely out of the same yarn. But anyways, I'll use the leftover for some stripes. This is yarn that I bought in San Francisco in a yarn store. Just beautiful. It's even difficult. Maybe you can see it if I hold it like this. It's beautiful. One mistake I did here though, it's the same concept as these. I followed the same pattern, just made them vanilla socks all the way, just with twisted rib in the top. But I made them a little too short, which means that they sort of slide down a little bit, which is really annoying. I think I thought I was trying to, last time I blocked them, I stretched them out. I haven't used them because I wanted to show them to you, not worn. But I'm hoping that I managed to stretch them just a little bit because I thought they would stretch out like this yarn does, but they didn't really. And that made them not fit as great. So they're not my favorite pair, but I love the look of them. So definitely experimenting with that, doing many more socks in the future. I love the feeling of homemade socks, and a pair like this with the pattern in it is just so dainty and beautiful. I love it. Actually goes really well with, sorry, hit the microphone again. Goes really well with this sweater, so that's cool. I also did Sunday socks. I showed them in my gift giving video. I did the slow morning socks as well. And I have some in progress with different types of yarn. So I'm definitely going to knit more socks in the future. And then for other accessories, I have, let me see if I can find everything. It's all messed up now. Let me see. Well, oh, here it is. It's just buried under all the other stuff. I did this headband in an evening. I just felt like it almost looks like this, but it's also made with lamb's wool from Vedils, but in a different color, so it's not the same as this. Mixed with one strand of the mohair that I use for this sweater. In brioche. It's just a simple concept. It was a free pattern, I believe. I found I couldn't find the pattern, but I found it, so I'll put it in put a picture up here and in the notes. I just wanted it for when I have a ponytail and I use my bike for work every day. I wanted to have something easy to put on, and I love it. It's not warm enough if it's really windy, so I want to do one more of the same kind of in a double knitting, more tighter, denser version, I think. So so I have one that's really warm. I also looked at some with some color work and whatnot, but I'm thinking actually just a really simple one, and then in the end you just you put these ends together in a sort of a twist, and then you sew them up, and then you fold them out, and it turns into this knot in the front, which I think is so stylish and chic. I really love it. So this was just a simple little project. And then I did the I think it's called the Nora, the Robin beanie from Sari Nordland. I bought this pattern during her Christmas thing. It's a little big and overwhelming, and it's funny because I've discussed with my daughters, if it wasn't in this red color, because they think it's too much, they would love it. So they actually like that it's big. The two of them do. So that's kind of interesting. But I have it, and it's really warm. I don't think I'm going to use it much, so I might give it away if somebody is crazy about it. But anyways, it was fun to do. And I also did the Musselburgh hat. I showed that earlier. I could put in a picture of it here. And what else did I do? I did a double 2x2 rib hat for one of my daughters. I've also shown that in an earlier episode. I did 2 of the Harris hoods that I can also put in, one that I lost and one for my friend. And then I did the, let me see, the Oktoberhette. Actually, I have it here. Hold on. This one, I've shown it also in my gift giving thing. This is also knit in Drops Snow. She has now received it for her Christmas gift, and she's very happy with it. You will notice that there's a stripe. I think you can see it. It was definitely 2 different dye lots. I've realized for some yarn, it doesn't seem to be a big deal with drops. But this yarn, Snow, oh my God, it's difficult to match up. And I just decided to pretend that it wasn't a problem, because I don't think over time, I don't think anybody will notice. So we just left it at that. No problem. Yep. What else? What else? Do I have the whole thing? Yeah, and then actually I also crocheted a little bit. So I wanted to share that with you as well. I did a couple of little pouches like this. I did follow a pattern for one of them, which I gifted, a pink one that I gifted. If I can find a photo, I'll insert it here, where I followed a pattern. And then I did this with a bunch of leftover yarn, with these bubbles that you can actually find a lot of free tutorials of how to do that. And then a little bit of regular knitting in the bottom. And then I sewed it up with a zipper and put in a lining for it. And yeah, so and then made these 2 little like flaps in the end. So it's kind of a cute little makeup bag or whatever you want to use it for. So those are kind of cute. And I just used a bunch of scraps, bunch of leftovers from a lot of projects. There's some Drops Air, merino, cotton, a little bit of everything. So I think this will be gifted. Then I knit a version, and I cannot find it, that I'm going to, and I hopefully find it because I haven't finished it. I've knitted the same concept, tried to do some pattern on it, and then I need to put in the zipper and do the lining, and I haven't done that. So whenever that's done, that's supposed to be for all my little accessories, the notions, the stitch markers, all this kind of stuff should go in there, because I tend to leave them all over the place and it bugs me. So that's that. Then I knit this. I followed, I'll put in a link for a tutorial. I crocheted this shirt. It's sort of a freehand shirt that you do according to your own measures. And it's pretty simple pattern. It's repeated, and I just used, did I use cotton merino or something like that? Maybe cotton, I can't remember. And I love wearing it because it's airy. Again, it's kind of fun and cute, but it was a pain. I think people tend to say that crocheting is faster, But oh my God, I felt like this took forever. I was so over it, and it actually hurt my hand in the end, and it was a big thing. And I could have done it a little longer than I did. I think I actually ended up extending it because I did it too short, and you can definitely see it. So it's maybe it's just my skill level that's not great enough, but I hope I don't offend anybody, but I have this idea that whenever you crochet garments, they have a tendency to come out looking homemade, sort of. And when you knit, you can actually, I don't know, I think it's easier. Maybe it's just because I'm better at knitting. I don't know, because I kind of like crocheting, just not in that extent. So I don't think I'll be knitting a lot of or crocheting a lot of garments in the future, but I kind of like it. But then again, I think I would rather knit something um, comparable to this instead next time. So, and then I did actually do one more, and this is chaotic to show. Also, I tried to put in a picture. It's maybe not the best styling I've done in the little video, but just to show you, used over a top or a simple black dress. It's just a it's like a chainmail. I think, oh wait a minute, I think it's like this. So yeah, like this. It's just a simple top crochet. This was fast because these are just big loops that you do. And I thought it was kind of fun actually to use it to put over, it's like a layer that's not too hot, but it's still warm. So it actually is kind of nice over if you feel like your top is a little too light for the occasion. This kind of dresses it up a little bit. I feel like it's kind of a little bit for fun piece. I haven't used it much because it was at the end of the summer I did it, but yeah, we'll see if I get any use out of this in the summer. So we'll see. Very last thing I want to show you is just a fun little project I had going with my friend. These little ones look like a very traditional Christmas cookie called vanillekrans, so vanilla rings, you could say. And these are actually crocheted, and they're. I used the rest of the yarn from, or not the rest, but I used the same yarn as the linen top I showed you in the beginning. It's gone in my big pile here. Oh, here it is, I think. No, yeah, here it is. So this yarn, I kind of felt like it looked a little bit like it. They should be baked more if they look like this, but just a simple little Danish recipe, and I feel like they're so fun. So I did this whole little. I have had this whole little arrangement out for Christmas that I feel like is fun. And then I did a little, like a brown cookie that we do. We call them brunkager. So little brown flat cookies. It kind of looks a little bit like that. It's also crocheted in the round, and then I did a little edging on it. And then there's something that I don't even like myself called kleiner, which is dough that you twist somehow. And I did a bunch of different. This was the pattern called to do it like this. Then I tried to do my own version that looked a little more like one that's like this. And then I found a recipe of one that was crocheted, and this is all crooked and fun, but it kind of looks more like this. So anyways, I've had this little plate sitting out with homemade cookies that definitely won't bother your weight during Christmas time. So they will definitely go in the Christmas box and come out next year, and we'll see if I can add to the collection next year. I think that was it. I'm pretty sure I probably forgot some bits and pieces here and there, but I feel like that was most of it for this video. So I hope if you stuck around for this long, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I hope you want to subscribe and like the video. That will help me tremendously. I will be back with a regular podcast episode shortly, and yeah, and then we'll go from there. So if you're watching in December, Happy New Year's, and see you soon in the next video. Take care.